In this first episode of Twilight Imperium Race Explanations, we are going to be talking about the Arborec, the weird sentient plants that decided to roam the galaxy. The Arborec are a living plant species that roam the galaxies. Many people don't really understand why or how they do this. One of the most interesting parts of the Arborec is the fact that they sing to each other in their own strange language. Now, does that mean they can only communicate by singing to all other species? No. What they weirdly do is when they come across dead bodies, they infect those dead bodies with some fungus and reanimate them so that way they can communicate with other species across the galaxy. And while they did this, they also acquired and built and perfected their own way of technology so that way they could also have the massive ship-like structures that the other races in the galaxy have. And because of this, they were able to weave their way into galactic politics as one of the more impressive societies. Now, something you will notice interesting about the Arborec is their faction ability. Their ability Mitosis states, your space docks cannot produce infantry. At the start of the status phase, place one infantry from your reinforcements on any planet you control. At first, that seems a little odd, and even in the rules explanations for the Arborec, you can't just place one infantry on every single planet. It's one infantry on one planet. Now, how do you overcome that? The best way to overcome that is to use your faction technologies and your flagship, as well as upgrading your infantry unit. So, first, the faction technology, bioplasmosis, or however you say that. At the end of the status phase, you may remove any number of infantry from planets you control and place them on one or more planets you control in the same adjacent systems. It is a 2 green technology requirement. Now, for the Arborec, that's not really that hard to get. You just have to forego going down the red technology tree, as your starting technology of Magnum Defense Grid would make you believe that was the correct way. Now, what makes that interesting is these can just go to any system, either the same one that it was destroyed from, or any of the adjacent ones. Kind of like if you stepped on a mushroom and the spores spread. Now, something interesting is also the upgraded Latani Warrior. It's a 2 green as well, but this one is where you can start to see the ball rolling a little bit, is after this unit is destroyed, roll 1 die. If the result is 6 or greater, place a unit on this card. At the start of your next turn, place each unit that is on this card on a planet you control in your home system. So instantly, a big old mass after a battle of units can possibly be placed right back into the board without having to do any production action. Now, your flagship. This is one of the weird flagships in the game, but one of the key ones that you definitely want to get going is the Duna Memenon. I still can't really pronounce it. It has sustained damage, costs 8 to build, it has 2 7s for its combat, it can only move 1, but it has a pretty high capacity of 5. After you activate this system, you may produce up to 5 units in this system instantly. So guess what? That's 5 more of those upgraded warriors from earlier. So if you're just slowly but surely spreading your spores among the galaxy, your vines will wrap around them. Now, I haven't really played much of the expansion, but I still feel I should go over the Mechs and Leaders of this. And I'm just going to read them straight here because I haven't read all of them, and react pretty much one-to-one to each of these. And that's how it's going to be for each of the races. So, it's Mech. when you would use your Mitosis faction ability, you replace one of your infantry with one of your mech for your reinforcements instead. It has a combat of 6 and normally costs 2. Hey, that's actually pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, it's Agent. Action. Exhaust this card and choose a player's non-fighter ship. That player will replace that ship with one of their reinforcement that costs up to 2 more than the replaced ship. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing to help out an ally. Alright, now let's read their commander. After another player activates a system that contains one or more of your units that have production, you produce 1 unit in that system. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. Alright, their hero. Action. Produce any number of units in any number of systems that contain one or more of your ground forces. Then purge this card. Jeez, that is amazing. So basically, you remove this card from the game, all of your ground units are out. Like, yeah, you just have to make sure you have at least 1 ground unit everywhere, and then you can produce as many as you want of those. Holy cow, that is impressively powerful. So, my strategy going into using the Arborec, more than likely would be produce as many ground units as I can and mix it with those 2 technologies and flagships. And my flagship, so that way I could just start slowly encroaching my spores onto everybody's planets, and then like you can just spread them so quickly. A lot of people underestimate the Arborec, but I bet you if you could master the positioning of your ground forces, you'll be able to just get as much territory as you possibly could. It'll be freaking awesome.